Yeah. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. I'm doing this on my phone because my camera is being a pain in the bum. Joy. Happy joy. Anyway, happy Sunday. I hope yours is going freaking better than what mine is. Thought to myself, I've actually got time this morning. I'll sit down, I'll film, it'll be great. It's to do with my memory card, whatever, not the point. Still annoyed. Anyway. I'm over it. Anyway. Says the girl who holds grudges for years. Whatever. So I thought I would do, I don't know, some fun stuff with my eye makeup today because I haven't actually done any crazy eye looks in a while. So, not crazy, just I haven't actually done any eye looks in a while. So, I'm going to today with you guys. And if you haven't noticed, I cut myself a fringe. Got side bangs. My hair is super healthy and shiny because I take fish oil every day for my back. And my skin's and my hair is anyway. Okay. I know I haven't done this in a while and I haven't filmed in a while. And I am really sorry, I honestly am. Things have been hectic and crazy. So, I suppose I should explain while I'm doing my makeup. Everything's a bit hectic in here. I haven't cleaned in a couple of days, but that's okay. So, what's been going on? Last thing I left off with, I think, was the fact that, I had the rhizotomy procedure done on my spine, which I think I did explain was freaking painful. Recovery wise, how am I going? So it's been, I think it's been a month, a full month since I had it done. And I'm doing okay, I think. Past couple of days have been a bit achy, but I think that's just because the weather's changed. It's gone from sunshine and 20 degrees to these crazy ass storms that are rolling in. The wind at the moment is hectic. But anyway, not the point. What else has been going on? My best friend at work left me. He got a new job. Yay, and congratulations to him, honestly. It's the best thing ever for him. But it's sad for me, and I'll miss him. I already do. I already miss him. And I message him almost every day after work, and I'm like, yeah, work sucks without you, man. But he likes it, and it's good. So he works for Harley Davidson, one of the shops here in Perth. I'm sorry, I'm molting everywhere. It's because I washed my hair last night and I wash it once a week. I've just trained my hair to be that way and be cool with it. But yeah. So, what else has been going on? Not a lot. I've been watching a lot of true crime stuff because y'all know that your girl loves true crime and mysteries and murder mysteries and unsolved cases and solved cases and all of the above. Yeah, so, but I did actually come across a story, and it's actually a true story because I was just randomly scrolling. I think it was through YouTube, I think. And I came across a video made by one of my YouTubers that I really enjoy and I follow. Her name's Bailey. And anyway, she does murder mystery and makeup Mondays. It's pretty cool. Anyway, she was actually telling the mini biography of Betty Page. And so if you don't know who Betty Page is or was, she was a pin-up girl. And she actually was in the centerfold of Playboy one year, which was a huge deal because Playboy is huge. Anyway, she was just telling the story of Betty Page. and I actually found it quite interesting. So she actually was a Southern girl with a thick Southern accent, and she wanted to go to Hollywood to become a movie star. So she went, but she wasn't booking any jobs, and it was because of her thick Southern accent. So she leaves Hollywood and goes to New York, and she actually captures the eye of a police officer who is also a part-time photographer. And he asks if he can like photograph her. And in like, you know, the 1950s pinup. And she agrees, and she just basically goes in leaps and bounds with becoming a pinup girl. Anyway, then she gets into a little bit of bondage, does bondage photography, and is very, very good at it, and gets like tips and like paid well for back then and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but basically this religious political guy basically uses a picture of Betty Page in the same position as what a young teen boy was found in when he committed suicide, and it was in the same position basically as one of her bondage pictures, and he was basically saying that this kind of stuff and was, you know, the reason that kids were dying, and, you know, blah blah blah, political bullcrap. So anyway, she goes away for a while, just, you know, does her thing, gets married, doesn't work out, gets divorced, decides she wants to be a missionary worker. She gets rejected from that because she's got 2 divorces under her belt. And that's kind of, you know, not frowned upon, but not what, you know, good Christian beliefs are. Anyway, so she doesn't get picked for that. But she starts to go a little bit weird. She ends up being put in a mental health institution, or a mental, like a, yeah, mental hospital, because she starts to go a little bit crazy, and she basically threatens a whole bunch of people. She was running through a parking lot with a gun, basically telling her this is what the Lord wants me to do. Anyway, no charges ever get filed or anything like that, and that's fine. Anyway, she goes and stays in this little mental hospital for a little bit, comes out. She has having dinner with her ex-husband and his children. They were his children, not hers. And then all of a sudden, he has to call the cops on her because she goes mental again, and basically threatens him and his kids and tells them to pray to this picture of Jesus, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, she goes back to the mental hospital, has a little stay, all is good. Then she comes out again, and her ex-husband, you know, wanting to make sure she gets better, picks her up, takes her home, you know, is going to look after for her a bit. But guess what? The bitch goes crazy again. And she starts, like, destroying his house, like ripping paintings off the wall, tipping stuff onto the floor. She goes mental, like absolutely mental, for God knows what reason. Anyway, the cops come and get her. Now while they put her in the back of the squad car, and they're talking to her ex-husband, you know, trying to get a story, what's been going on, blah 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 blah. Anyway, they go back to interview her in the back of the paddy wagon, and this is not for little ears because it's a little bit risque. Anyway, they find her in the back of the squad car with no underwear on, having a little fun time, if you get my drift, with a coat hanger she'd found in the back of the squad car. Yeah, let that just sink in. Anyway, she goes back into the mental institution, and she's there for a bit longer than usual, but At the recommendation of her doctors, she is discharged. So she goes to live in this like trailer that she rents off this elderly couple. That's fine. It doesn't last too long because she goes crazy one day and basically sneak attacks the old guy and basically tries to kill him. So again, she's arrested, whacked back in the mental hospital. That's fine. She then leaves the mental hospital. I think it was something like a couple of years go by, and then she finally leaves. She gets an apartment. She then sneaks into the actual apartment of the landlord, straddles this landlord, then proceeds to stab her in the chest with a bread knife, missing her heart by like centimeters. She like stabs her in her hand and all this stuff. The woman, she thankfully survived, but they basically put Betty Page into a full-on mental institution, locked her up for years and years and years, eventually let her out, and she lived out her days and ended up getting pneumonia at 85, and she had a heart attack and died. So yeah, this beautiful pin-up woman, she ended up being diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, but so every time she went to court, she would just plead insanity and get put in a nice little mental hospital to just get better. Yeah, I was reading this story and I'm just like, what? Like, some famous people are absolutely cuckoo in the cabana. Like, full on cray-cray. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I wanted sparkles today. I don't know if you can see it because of this lighting, but I'll show you later. There's glitter everywhere. Oh, I've been going down the bloody TikTok hole and I get stuck there. But some of the pages are so funny. Oh my goodness. I've told a couple of stories on there about crazy customers. Because man, we've had our fair share of those. And if you haven't, go back to see a couple of my story times because they're great. They're so crazy. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, some of the TikToks, they're so good. I spent ages laughing yesterday, just so many. Oh, it's raining. The weather is supposed to be hella crazy today. And I get to work for 4 hours. Woohoo! And I gotcha. The entire time I'm driving to work, at work and leave work, it's going to be absolutely crazy weather. Crazy. It's just my luck. Anyway, what should we do today for the foundations? I think I'll use this one. These are weird. I like to mix up my color of my foundation. I feel like I need to tell more stories. I also feel like I need to show you this weather. It's crazy. Maybe, Mommy, remind me and I'll show you. I can show you the world. Do, 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 do. Anyway, you are not here to see me sing or attempt to sing. So, more stories, and I will tell you if they're not age appropriate. So maybe you could just meet me and if there's like children in the room. If you don't want them to hear these stories, you can just meet me. And then it'll be like this. And you're gonna be like, damn, I knew what she was saying. What was I gonna say now? There are a couple of cases that do make Australian TV that aren't, you know, from Australia. We had a lot of true crime here, man. People don't even realise, like, some of the stuff that's happened here, you wouldn't even know. Not just, like, in Perth and stuff, but in the whole of Australia, like... I mean, you all know about the Cleveland serial killer, and, you know, he's currently on trial and whatever. But, anyway. But there's this, one currently in America, that's just really sad. Basically... the bits I got before I went and, you know, watched a couple of YouTube videos about it, basically American police had basically said to this woman and her new husband that, you know, because the children hadn't been seen in months and they needed to produce the children, proof that they're still okay and still alive and all that kind of stuff. And the mother just wasn't doing it, and, you know, people held out hope that these poor children would be found, and, you know, that maybe because she'd gone all religiously nutty and weird, and they were just, you know, hoping that, you know, she was hiding them in an underground bunker because she thought that the end of the world was coming, and the end of the world was supposed to end in July. Didn't, so clearly your theories are not working out for you, dear. Anyway, so she didn't produce the children, so she was arrested and charged with, like, I think child endangerment and not adhering to a court order, because it was like a full court order that she had to produce the children within a certain amount of days, and she didn't do it. And anyway, they got a tip-off or something, or they had a hunch, I suppose, and they went out to the property of the new husband, so the stepfather. Meanwhile, her ex-husband, her name's Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell, her ex-husband, who I'd honestly tried to stay with her when she started going all religiously and weird, he was shot and killed by her brother. The ex-wife of Chad Daybell, she died mysteriously. Yeah. And then the brother, I guess they were, like, done with him and didn't need him anymore. So he was killed or committed suicide, right? Anyway. So there's all this craziness. Anyway, they went out to the property because he wasn't arrested because technically they weren't his kids and the court order was for her. Anyway, they went out to his property. He had a big farmhouse and stuff. And basically, they ended up finding the bodies of both the children in shallow graves, which was just awful. So I, you know, went and watched a few videos on it because they had said here on the news, here in Australia, that, you know, unfortunately the bodies of the children had been found, and I just thought to myself, the kids are innocent in this whole thing. I mean, so were the ex-partners and stuff, but I just don't understand why people have to do what they do. Treat her own flesh and blood like they were her own children. Yes, JJ was adopted, but that's still your kid. Tylee, who was the daughter, she was, like, literally, she just finished high school and was turning 18 and had her whole life ahead of her. And they go and do that. It's just disgusting. But anyway, I hope they both rot in hell. I really do. Oh, and then get this right. The guy, he tries to run when he sees the cops have, like, found the bodies. He tries to get in his car and bail. And they're just like, ain't happening, mate. And they get him down the road, and it's like, come on, mate. You clearly had something to do with it. So, yeah, stop being a butthole. It's just sad that the kids in all of that had to suffer, you know? Like, they didn't ask for that to happen to them. People are just messed up. Messed up humans. It's not, the world is not crazy, it's the people that live on it. Anyway. Yeah, I've been watching some other ones because I never knew. This is so weird to say. We've got our own army and Air Force and all that kind of stuff and Navy. And then you've got the Americans, and I did not realize just how many soldiers or whatever, or people that had joined the army have been killed by their own people, and then it's been covered up because they're just that messed up. Like, oh my god. Apparently there's this one campsite for the army over there that's like known for that kind of thing, and I'm just like, what the hell? It's Fort Hood? Anyway, if you're like seriously curious, like I'll look it up, and there's just so many things and cover-ups and like one, not content for kids, maybe mute me. Basically they tell these parents of this young girl that was in the army over there that she has committed suicide, which she's never shown signs of, and her own father is trained in that to detect that kind of thing, because he was in the army and that was his, thing, to detect whether someone was suicidal or whatever. And her parents were like, excuse me, what? Turns out she'd shot herself in the face or in the mouth, put a gun in her mouth. Meanwhile, the gun is actually bigger than her, so she wouldn't even been able to reach the trigger while it's in her mouth. They had told the family that they suggested that they have a closed casket because, she's unrecognizable and it's really awful and blah, 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 blah. And the parents are like, this is sus as hell. So they say, no, thank you. They get her back, and apart from her nose being a bit wonky from obviously being broken, there was no like crazy bullet holes or anything. There was one near her ear, which, if she's committed suicide, she would have blown half of her mouth off and the back of her head. And the bullet hole size is smaller than the rifle that they said she shot herself with. Anyway, the parents did not want to, of course, no parent wants to believe that their child's committed suicide, but it all starts adding up, and I'm like, yeah, no. And basically, they're supposed to get a report from the army to basically say what's happened and, the autopsy that was performed. The autopsy was completely wrong, mind you. And I'm like, okay, I'm not medical, but even I know that, yeah, whatever. But they suspect it was a certain person that had done it to her, that had actually previously sexually assaulted her. That was like her superior. So, if that's not messed up enough, like, that poor girl, she was only like 19, 20. And she was doing it so she could pay her own way through college. Because once you're in the army for a certain period of time, they will pay for your college. Like, you can honorably discharge, and they will pay your college tuition and everything, so she could then go and do what she wanted. It was only like 4 years in the army that she had to do, and then, and she was over in Afghanistan, but she wasn't even in, she was in like the IT kind of side. Yeah. So she wasn't even in combat. So yeah, the whole story is just like hella sus. And they ring to obviously get this report, and this guy rings back and he's just like, yeah, no, the report is so messed up, nothing matches. We can't send you anything. Hold up. Sorry, my mummy called, so I had to answer it. But while I was on the phone to her, I did my eyebrows. Anyway, God, what was I saying? I can't even think. I don't know. I can't remember. Can't remember what I was talking about, but yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah, just yeah, the sadness of what people will put their children through. It's not very nice, is it? No, it is not. But yeah. What else have I been up to? Not a lot. No, unfortunately not a lot. Just like working mostly. Because my best mate, my boss, old boss, he used to do like a fair bit. So it's like doing his job as well, which is fine, but it's like trying to remember like everything that he used to do on top of like my normal job. I'm like, oh god, because like I don't want to forget beg my pardon, forget anything, and then like realize the next day that we have like double the amount of work to do. Because that sucks. But yeah, thankfully so far so good, and we're doing pretty good at work, and we're getting good conversions. So that's how many people we convert to a sale that walk through the door. And then we're getting good. What else are we getting? We're getting good sales. We're actually making good money, which is good. Which I think the boss was really happy about. Considering we are in the middle of a pandemic. But yeah, we're doing okay. We're hanging in there. We're doing things. I've not done a full face of makeup in like with this amount of effort in a fair while, but that's just because I've been so tired. Oh yeah, I have an autoimmune disease, guys. Woo! I've been like so fatigued, like to the point where I will get home at like 5 o'clock. I will have dinner, and by 6 I am asleep because I am like, oh my god, just so tired. So they're just narrowing down which one she's pretty sure she knows which one it is. And it's basically where your red blood cells don't open up enough to like when they're traveling around the body. So yeah, it's like just to do with like your oxygen levels and your serotonin levels, and I don't know, I'm just saying words here. So yeah, that's fun. Said no, whatever. I'm gonna need like a new highlighting palette soon. Oh my god. Because y'all know how much I love highlighter, don't you? Yes, you do. Like, Stacey, put the highlighter down. And I'm like, no, sir. I will not be putting it down. I would never put it down. Never, ever. Never. But yeah. What else is going on in my life, guys? I really don't know, to be honest. I'm going to put sparkles down here. Bugger it. Sparkles everywhere for everyone. I like to glow. What else? What else do I need to tell you guys before I have to like edit this and put it together, and then you guys can be like, girl, are you on crack? Not answering. I'm just kidding. No. I take enough bloody drugs, thank you very much. But yeah, I am hoping that the restrictions for WA like get completely lifted end of August, because they keep pushing it back, because Melbourne, what are you doing to us, people? They're getting like crazy new amounts of cases every day. It's mandatory for them to wear a mask when they're outside of the house. They're only allowed to go 5 kilometers from their house. They can only go outside and exercise once a day. They're in like full on lockdown, like they have a curfew. Yeah. It's crazy. And they're still getting like crazy amounts of freaking bloody cases daily. And I'm like, oh my god, guys. Like, come on. Like, they had over 700 one day and 600s, and they're in 400s, and it's like, clearly whatever you're doing over there is not working. Whereas I think we're doing pretty good over here. Like, I think we've got like 5 active cases currently, and they're all people that are in quarantine that have come home. So it's like, oh yeah, and get this right, so they go and do like the checks for the people that have been tested for corona and have tested positive, right? So they go to do their checks to make sure that they're at home self-isolating. And out of 3,000 people they visited, 800 of them were not home. What the hell? Just stay home. You're freaking sick. You'll spread the virus. It's freaking ridiculous. Just don't get it. Yeah. And then there's those silly women out there that we're calling Karens that are refusing to wear a mask. And it's like, if you... and then filming it and saying, I have a right. But then, because they're at risk and they have a medical reason to not be wearing a mask, that's fine. If you've got the paperwork to say you don't have to wear a mask, you just produce that. And they're like, okay, that's fine, you have a medical exemption, right? No, they like to make a scene, and film it, and put it all over the internet, and then watch as people are like, yeah, you're a dumb shit. Put your freaking mask on. Like, I have gone and invested in one. Just one off the internet. Although we do sell them at work, so I could buy surgical ones if I wanted to, but I bought a fabric one online. Because, you know, support your locals and support, you know, Australian businesses. So I supported a business in Sydney that were making them. And I was like, I'll just buy one, right? Because then I can wash it. Whatever. But then, like, that's a precaution in case we get crazy amounts of cases that start freaking showing up on our doorstep. And we have to go into lockdown. But then, like, I've also got it if, like, people, when they start booking in weddings or whatever, that are still, like, uncomfortable about the whole thing, I can wear it when I go and do makeup. So people, you know, don't have to panic or worry about germies, because not that I carry germs, and if I felt the slightest little tickle in my throat or had hay fever symptoms, which I do get, I wouldn't do makeup. I would be like, look, I'm really sorry. I can't come, I'm sick. Or I'd, you know, and I'd make sure I'd have a backup for them. But I tell you, some people just do not give. And SHIT, they're just a-holes. Yeah. Look Look at me, I put a face on. I'm actually really warm under this freaking bloody light of mine. My ring light. I kind of like this one because it like changes. It's chromatic. Okay. Now I just need to clean up where I made mistakes with the mascara. People always think that they ruin their makeup when they do that. And I'm like, no, just get a Q-tip. Just get a Q-tip. And it fixes everything. I feel like I catfish everybody when I do my makeup because your girl does not look like this normally. She looks like a hot mess. Okay, just want a little bit of color under my eyes. I might do silver actually. Excuse me. I need a bit more, excuse me. There we go. Pretty Stacey. I'll show you like in proper lighting. Hang on. Pick you up. Oh, I'll show you this hectic weather. Just for funsies. Okay. Now you can use hairspray. Setting spray like a normal human. But I use hairspray to set my face. And I've been doing this for years because my face is used to it. If I want a more dewy look, I'll use my Glam Glow setter. But anyway, okay. Let me pick you up. Come here. There you go. Pretty. Anyway, that's enough from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry it's been a while. Stay safe out there. Stay sober. Nah, do whatever. Just be kind to one another. Oh, and before I forget, I also have to show you something. I got my very first tattoo, guys. It's in memory of my beautiful boy Bing, and my other fur baby that is outside, Baxter. But yeah, I got my first tattoo. Woohoo! Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in my next one. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so when I start uploading these more often, which I keep promising and always forget to, you'll get notified. Anyway, see you in my next one, and stay tuned for the weather. Yeah, so that's how far in the rain's come in. Gotta love Perth weather.